if you look at your top 5 ads and make a decision on those 3 things, you'll do more in your account than most people do managing hundreds and hundreds of ads. Because overall, like if you just focus on like those 2 things, creating margin and nurturing better, you'll find your stuff works better. Come on, Facebook, I believe in you. All right, we are now live. How cool is that? So excited to see you guys for another one, awesome Monday. You guys are advancing and kicking ass. Funny little thing over here. It's been an interesting week. We've had the German grandparents just left. Now I got my little baby girls running around all by themselves. And well, it's just been an interesting time having 2 old Germans living with us for 2 months. I hope you guys have had an awesome week. I got a little bit of neck pain, not really sure what's up with that, but overall some good things coming down the pipeline. Before we get started, just quick little awesome, amazing announcement, which is thanks to our man Sam, we have put together our premium clients workshop. And what this will help you guys do is go from, I've had people go from like $500 a month service to $10,000 a month, and it's such a huge change because, you know, all of a sudden when you have $10,000 a month staying and paying or whatever like that, you know, like or $5,000 or $6,000, whatever your price is, when you go to that premium pricing model, like it just gives you a lot of room to be able to hire people. The clients generally are easier. Just like the business is better. It's more fun, and we're giving you guys everything you need to do that. Like firstly, what are premium clients looking for? What's up, Gary? The offers that work on them and what kind of funnel you need to actually get them, which is simpler than most people think it is, like way, way simpler and has way, way less moving pieces than most people, as well as the mindset stuff, because the hardest part a lot of times is just between the ears. So I'm going to go post that. Actually, I'll post it in the comments right now. This document is a little bit work in progress, so if there's some typos or whatever, you guys, but feel free to check that out. Just put a little link to the doc if you guys are interested in going premium clients. Other than that, let's get into the good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Frankie Finn proudly brings to you our weekly Q&A. So excited to have you guys for another round. You guys, it's been a little bit of a quiet week for questions since it's a holiday weekend, but we got a few good ones in here. Sherwin says, how do you decide which ads to kill based on impressions, clicks, CTR? Objective is driving traffic. Sherwin, here's the deal with deciding which ads to kill. Okay, most people, in my experience, for the amount of money they're spending, run way too many fucking ads and way too many split tests. Perry Marshall calls this forest, trees, leaves, and I think it's the best analogy for understanding when to kill ads. The forest is like the big idea that you're testing, right? The offer, the creative, the what you're actually giving them. The medium-sized stuff is what he calls the trees, right? This may be the messaging you use or the image you use. Certainly not nothing. And then the small stuff is what he calls leaves, like yellow button or green button. Most people run gazillions of ads to test for leaves, and leaves don't create big changes in your results. So I always like the Dennis Yu method. I'm not saying this is the only way. There's always more than one way to be successful, but is like really just look at your top 5 ads and make one of 3 decisions. Decision number 1 is kill it. Stop running it. It's not accomplishing our objective. Step number 2 is the opposite of that, is like keep running it. It's working. And number 3 is we need to change something about it. Well, and usually for me those are the kind of working. Like yeah, it's working, but it's like the cost is higher than I'd like it to be. Maybe we could try a new image, or maybe we could try saying this instead of that, right? Like so. Those are the only 3 decisions. If you look at your top 5 ads and make a decision on those 3 things, you'll do more in your account than most people do managing hundreds and hundreds of ads, because most of those ads are not being delivered equally. So I literally just sort them by spend in the last 7 days, and I look at the top 5 and I make decisions about those top 5, and the rest of it I don't even worry about. Now, having said that, for those of you guys who have really, really big accounts with like hundreds and hundreds of clients, what I told you is bad advice, but I'm giving advice to like 98, 99% of you that don't need to run like a gazillion fucking split test ads. If you do that, you're going to have success, like, knowing when to kill ads. Matt, what's up, brother? I think we need to have a rock out session, you and me, buddy. How do I find a decent appointment setter? So I'm going to give you this is a deeper philosophical thing on hiring in general, because and I mean specifically hiring like money-making people too, like not just delivery side, but like hiring salespeople, hiring appointment setters, hiring marketers and things like that, which is, I've found that in the beginning, I had this mentality that I was kind of looking for a diamond in the rough. So I'm looking for that like perfect media buyer. I'm looking for that great SEO person. And I'm not saying it never happens, but more often than not, you will be disappointed. Meaning if you try and look for a great fucking appointment setter, like 40 or 50 times out of hiring, you're probably going to end up with, luckily, maybe one good one. And what I found is if you have good systems and you have a good offer and you have good processes and you have good trainings, like 50% of employees or more will make for good people. So like, for example, if I'm hiring a salesperson, I want to have a library of successful calls of what to do. And the more they can like actually listen to this is your fucking job done right, the more they're going to actually do it. So this is my way of saying if you want an appointment setter, the thing you're going to need is twofold. You're going to need an offer, and you're going to need like step-by-step training, an offer that works, I should say, and step-by-step training. If you do that, you'll have a very easy time finding a good appointment setter. What most people do is they're bringing in this like diamond in the rough who already knows what to do. And just this is the honest to God's truth, is most employees aren't built that way. But if you set your standard as somebody who has like good English and can learn, is adaptable, and then you give them the structure to succeed, you'll have like great appointment setters. So what I would do in your situation is just figure out, like, you don't have to spend a lifetime on it, but spend a couple of days getting the appointment system dialed in, and then document all that so that somebody else can do what you do and can have those conversations, and then you'll find quality appointment setters. If you do it like most people, trying to find that amazing media buyer or that amazing appointment setter or that amazing salesperson, and you have no structure and no training, they're going to fail like a lot, more often than not. Most times, like, because they would have to already know your business and everything inside and out. If they were doing that, they would be your competitor, right? Like, they wouldn't be an entrepreneur. So, but if you have the right structure and systems, like, employees will work out more often than not. So I hope that's helpful, my man. Daryl says, slow paying clients. Hello, read some past posts that somewhat talked about this, but wanted to know in 2022, how do you go about dealing with a client who's nice but pays about a week or so after the invoice is sent asking for a friend? I personally wouldn't lose my shit over a week, but having said that, Daryl, there's a deeper question, which is, why are you being the fucking bank? Stop. For real, stop being the bank for your clients. I've seen this in the legal industry. This is really common because personal injury lawyers, a lot of you guys, have seen their ads and stuff like that. That when they get clients in their world, they say like no fee unless we win. So like basically we only get paid when we get you a result. And typically it takes about 6 to 18 months for an average case to settle. The bigger ones can go even longer than that. Smaller ones can be even less, but 6 to 18 months is typical. And in that time, lawyers accrue expenses. Firstly, they got staff to pay in a building, and all the costs associated with that. But they also have to hire experts. They have to fill out like things at the courthouse. And I've realized most lawyers are being the bank. And I've helped quite a few law firms by just saying, stop being the fucking bank and use this financing company. Yeah, they charge 4 or 5%, but bill it out to your client. So that's my way of saying the best thing you'll ever do is we use Zoho and Stripe, and we just auto bill our clients. And you make that part of the expectations. When they sign up, hey, we're just going to auto bill you and it's automatically going to send you an invoice. I don't chase people. I don't do that. What's up, EJ? My man, I just saw a bunch of messages from you before I went on live, but my kids were being little fuckers, so I didn't fully get to read it. That's a common theme in my life, by the way, is kids being little fuckers, but I'm very much happy to have those little beautiful fuckers. Dylan says, hey everyone, new to the group. I'm pretty good with getting clients, but hardest part is delivering results. I'm trying to get leads for a concrete client, Google ads got super expensive, about $7 per click. I've been getting leads with Facebook lead forms, but they don't respond. Trying out Messenger ads at the moment. Any tips? A couple of them, Dylan. So firstly is you're trying to get leads for a concrete client. And I say this over and over in every industry, but understand not all leads are created equal. I don't know what this is in the concrete space, but like if they're doing a big concrete job, like say for, I don't know, a condo complex that has 8 buildings, they're not going to value that concrete job as the same as, can you fix a little hole in Aunt Betty's sidewalk, right? Like one of those might pay $100,000 and one might pay $50, right? So I don't want you to think about it as leads. There's always a spectrum in every industry. So one of the things you can do to create margins for yourself is sell the expensive shit. A lot of times people ask me, like, how do you guys run like really kick-ass Facebook ads? And I'd say we're better than most. We're in the 80 percentile, but this is a big secret of ours, is we have a lot of leeway to be wrong. Like when we used to run a lot of stuff for motorcycle cases, if it's an $80,000 case, I can spend $10,000 on Facebook to get one client, and my client is happy with me because they spent $10,000 and made $80,000. Who doesn't like those terms? But it's a lot harder to do if you're selling a $50 thing. Now you spent $10,000 and you made $50. Those are terrible, terrible returns. So if you focus on the most expensive thing and you suddenly have margin, a lot of the lead generation stuff you're doing, it will work. Okay? So it's not necessarily like you need to do something different. Now the second thing is, if you're getting leads on, say, Facebook for a concrete guy, you're going to have to nurture those leads. Like Facebook leads very, very rarely come out of the box just and say, here's my credit card. I'm not saying it never happens, but you know, we don't go on Facebook looking to buy stuff. That's very different than Google, where I typed in like, I'm looking for a concrete guy kind of thing. So this is my way of saying for you, you also have to focus on like actually nurturing those leads and bringing them to sales. The more you actually bring sales to people, the higher paid you're going to be in this industry. The more you help them actually take leads and convert them. Because if they're an established business, they don't struggle with leads. They struggle with converting them, answering questions, following up with people and shit like that, right? So we want to get away from like making this industry hard. So if you want your Facebook leads to respond, like be proactive about that. Don't wait for them to say, here's my credit card. Like put them in an email follow-up series. Follow up with them. But overall, like if you just focus on like those two things, creating margin and nurturing better, you'll find your stuff works better. You'll find that all of a sudden, like you'll be producing a high value result for a client. The other thing I forgot to mention is you can always outsource the whole thing. There's no rule that says you have to be the one to deliver this. One of my mentors calls this producer mojo. If you think about a movie producer, if you think about your agency and your role in it as like a movie producer, a producer doesn't act, like they're not the lead actor in it. They don't direct the movie. They don't write it. They don't fund it. They don't like come up with casting. They don't come up with wardrobe. They don't come up with the scenes. They don't build sets. They bring in all the people together and make it fit together harmoniously. They have the vision and bring in the correct people. So there's nothing wrong with like also completely outsourcing your delivery if it's one of those things you find to be a challenge. And then you can just focus on what you're good at. We have actually a couple of agencies in our world right now that actually have zero delivery agencies because they're completely outsourced. I'm not going to give you guys too much spoiler on that because that's a little kind of insider secrets, but you can have agencies where you literally do nothing and you think of yourself like a producer where you're bringing in all the top people, but you're not doing any of those roles. By the way, yeah, exactly. Matt is saying this is why we do white label for other agencies. 10 years of doing that, right? You have to figure that out brand new. Matt can walk in with 10 years of experience and having tried and failed and done all those things. So like reach out. We got some other cool white labelers depending on what you're looking for. But I would reach out to our man who's doing concrete over there with Dylan. Josh says, do you send your clients gifts or merchandise over the holidays? If so, what are you sending them? Yeah, we do. Honestly, like I don't like necessarily pre-script the holidays. But I like to send unexpected gifts more than like, hey, it's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it's your birthday. I like unexpected surprise gifts in the mail because nobody was expecting them ever. So having said that, though, I usually just like think about like what they're posting on their social profiles. Like, for example, I have one of my lawyers who posts that he flies private all the time. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be something that goes with, flying in a private plane, right? So the more like personalized and stuff you can do that, like the longer you're going to keep those client relationships. There's a formula to it, so you're not like reinventing the wheel each time you come up with gifts. But the best advice I could give is like read 2 books, Never Lose a Customer Again by Joey Coleman, and Giftology by John Ruhlin. You read those 2 books, you'll know everything you ever need to know about client gifts. Everything I know is from those 2 books. Paul says, for those offering TikTok ads, are you helping the client edit, produce the creative, or only manage their campaign? Looking to get into this. Paul, this is speaking from a guy who does not run TikTok ads for anyone, but also I have a kind of high vantage point where I see what a lot of different agencies are doing. And having said that, the ones that I know who are doing this most successfully are helping clients actually take little 1-minute or 2-minute recorded videos, turn them into TikTok, tag them, post them, manage campaigns, and simultaneously integrating the organic and the paid ads. And I say that the ones who are doing this most successfully, because those are generally the ones you want to model. I'm sure there are other agencies that just do like one little piece and post it and charge a fee. But again, the more you can help a client win, this is why I say you want to have a niche. People misunderstand what a niche is. They think finding a niche is about finding that secret treasure trove of money. And there are definitely bad niches in regards to that. Usually the ones that are like set prices by insurance and things like that, or are entirely referral based. And they don't run any sort of paid ads. But for the most part, any niche can work. What you're looking for is like a copy and paste, like scalable deliverable. And so the reason I say that is because if you figure out TikTok ads, say for a dentist, or TikTok ads for e-commerce, and I would go even deeper than that, like TikTok ads for like beauty products on. But if you figure that out, how to get a result, you can reuse those systems for the next client. So it's more work for one client, definitely, to set that up. But if you do it right, what you do for one client, you copy and paste and do on client 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's after you get the first client, like the second one and the third one, where it starts, the return on investment starts paying off. So I would take TikTok ads deeper, niche it down, figure out how to generate a high value result, create the whole thing soup to nuts, and then set up in a way where it's clonable so you can use it again and again, and then you'll kick some real ass with that. Zoom, looking for a commission-only based replier and closer. I had seen an agency here post a link to their website in the comments a long time ago. I forgot their website, tried searching for that comment, but couldn't find it. They do commission-only based replying and closing. As far as I remember, the founder was Indian. If you're here and you're seeing this, reach out. Other agency owners and individuals who do commission-only based reply and closing can also reach out. Zoom, I'm going to tell you, the flip side of that is, okay, you have to this is why I said that comment earlier to Matt, the importance of having good structure so that you hire and people come in the door ready to succeed. Because what happens is that I know how to close and stuff and do in chat. We've been doing it for 3 years. I'm now starting to train other people in our system so I don't even have to do those chats. And I would never touch that with a 10-foot pole. I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just trying to be real with you. And because it screams to me, new unproven offer, new unproven delivery, no proof, no elements. Because usually what's so appealing about a commission-only person is you don't have to pay them unless it works. So there's no risk in doing that. Having said that, the reason I tell you that is because, I've probably had about 50 people come to me looking for commission-only salespeople, and the number of people who succeeded with that as their solution was 0. And the reason it's 0 is because it's a symptom of a deeper problem. It's usually an offer problem. Once you get your offer converting and once you have a proven sales process, then it's easy to bring in salespeople. So I'm not saying you got to go get millions of clients before you hire a salesperson. You can get 2, but you at least need a clonable process where you can document the thing. And I would say 2 clients means it's not just some luck of the draw and you've done it twice. If you can do that twice, then you can bring in commission-only salespeople. It immediately gets desirable when you say we have a $5,000 offer. You're getting $2,500. You got to spend about this much time prospecting, and you know your numbers, and then you can plug somebody into that system. That's way more appealing than like, go sell my unproven thing, and if you have any success with it, I'll pay you a commission. Because I've never seen anybody win with that model, but I have seen people win commission only when they have the structure, right? When somebody comes in, they say, well, we're averaging this many contacts, this many leads, this many sales. For every 4 phone calls you get, you're going to close one of them. This is your average commission, because it's a proven process they're stepping into. If you're expecting a salesperson to magically come in and close your shit, in my experience, it just doesn't work like that. I'm not saying it doesn't ever happen, but I don't know. I've only met people who've had unspectacular experiences with that. So I'm not in any way trying to deter you, but what I'm saying is figure out your offer on 1 to 2 real life people and document the whole process. How you got the lead, how you handled the conversation, what you did for follow-up, what you had for conversation. Then if you give that to a salesperson, you'll find most salespeople can follow it, right? Because you like, we're entrepreneurs, like the old saying, like most people don't want to have arrows in their chest. They don't want to be the first ones at the front of the line, because as entrepreneurs, like, there is no road. We got to create it, but we create the road so that somebody else can come behind us and create this repeatable, systematized deliverable, right? So you're creating the road so that the salesperson behind you can repeat and duplicate that as many gazillion times as you want. But that's the best way to succeed with salespeople, is get an offer that works, document the process, bring them into that. You can do that with 2 clients. Like I said, you don't need a ton of it. But if you do that, you're going to close some shit, and you're going to have a good time and have good results with that. That's it for the questions. I just want to give you guys a quick little recap that we are dropping this Cyber Monday premium clients workshop. And this is, like, to be honest, the price I'm selling at this, don't take this the wrong way, guys, but like, it's not going to change my life. This is totally more for you guys, on the basis of like, I just know if people, even if they just pay a little bit for it, they're more likely to do something with it. And for you guys, what I want to see you guys be able to do with this is, we've had people go from $500 a month services to $10,000 a month, and it's fucking life-changing. Like, it's for real, as legit can be, fucking life-changing, because all of a sudden you have bigger margins, the clients are easier to deal with, they want to stay, they want to pay, they're easier to get results for, so you keep them happy. And you don't need nearly as many clients. It's like literally 20 times the Stripe payment. So I'm not promising that you guys will all of a sudden on day one go to 10,000. But if you're in the lower than I'd like to be pricing, it'll help you raise it. And so little of it is like completely changing what you do. A lot of times people think, oh, I'd have to do something completely different. But usually it's just a shift of like 5%. It's these things are not super obvious to most people. And so if you notice them, you can make these easy shifts. So I'm going to throw that out there. I mentioned that. Like I said, $49. Where are you going to beat that? There's also a couple of bonuses. Let me just look in here real quick so I can tell you exactly what those are, because my tired dad brain has forgotten. Oh, also we're including a training in there called the minimum viable funnel. Like, I hate fucking Frankenstein funnels, and I'm sure some of you guys do too. Having to create all these things in ClickFunnels and all the other kind of go high level and lead pages and all these kind of unbalanced kind of tools, and having to create videos and stuff. When we create a new offer for a premium client, I test that shit in 1 to 3 sentences. That's it. And so all you got to do is put it out there, and you'll know whether or not people would pay you a premium price for that. That alone is like just the amount of time and headaches you save from not having to like create these giant funnels. You can know whether or not your offer is going to work in just a few sentences. As well, we got a swipe file, so like I wanted to show you guys real life examples so you can see like what shitty offers look like, what mediocre offers look like, what good ones look like, as well as like just having like the training so you guys can get our $15,000 is what people pay for this offer training, so you guys can see what like how we create offers in the mastermind. And this is a skill that transcends just this one offer. Like it's a for life kind of deal. What else would I want to mention? Oh, and then the other piece we're throwing in there is the mindset piece, because sometimes the hardest part is like just feeling like, I would say 2 things. Like, one is that you're ready for like big kind of expensive clients, and 2 is the thinking that like, oh, they already have everything figured out, why would they need me? And all kinds of other just like little mental stopping points that'll stop you from getting like your 10K a month or whatever that is for you. 5 to 10K a month, I would say, is typical. I'd say $2,500 a month on the low end. But whatever those mindset blocks are for you, like, they're not new. We work with agency owners all the time. I hear the same shit over and over. So knowing exactly how to like overcome those so that you can feel confident and certain in your big pricing, and doing it in a way where it's like ethical. Like, I always say, like, asshole marketers ruin everything where they come in and say, we can get you 10,000 bazillion million fucking leads. None of that shit is just like ethically going to somebody who is a big whale client saying, hey, I had an idea for you, something cool that I think would add on to your structure. I'm not 100% sure it's going to work, but why don't we try it for a little short period of time? And if you like it, we can keep continuing. And if you don't, we won't. Would you be open to that kind of arrangement? It's much more that style. And so if that's you guys, check that shit out. And hope you'll dig it. I hope you guys... My hope for you guys is that you'll actually go out there in the world and like start upping your prices and get bigger and better people, because all the competition is at the bottom, and when you take yourself out of that, it's just a better agency. You just have better clients that are easier to deal with, and there's more money in it, and you can have better help to help you, and they're just they appreciate what you're doing for them, and they're set up to capitalize on it. Like, an example of this is, I remember when we first started running Facebook ads for injury lawyers in like 2016, I had like 20 clients, and 10 of them were okay with the service. 5 or 6 of them were saying it was the worst shit ever, and all the leads were bad, and like 3 or 4 of them were super stoked. And I once I realized that, like, we could focus on the 3 or 4 that were super stoked, who they were, and just have more of those. And then what ends up happening is you don't have to worry about like bad leads and all those things. And what I ultimately realized is they were just best set up. They had the most amount of infrastructure to be able to use what we gave them. So when you guys can identify that, the clients who are best suited to win with you, you'll get better results for them because they're set up to use what you already have. One of my mentors describes this as like, we don't have to show up with all the cards. They have the ace of spades, they have the king of spades, they have the queen of spades, and the 10 of spades, and we just show up with our jack of spades and say, hey, this would fit really nicely into what you're doing. And then what ends up happening is the client succeeds because they had all 80% of the pieces before you came in the door. So if that makes sense for you guys, check that out. I think I'm going to close it on Wednesday. To be honest, like, a lot of times depends on when I get bored of these, but I think Wednesday. So you got 2 days to check it out, and that's really all I got for you guys. It looks like all the questions, but I appreciate you guys making the show better each time, because we're getting better questions, and like the standard of agency owner is improving, and you guys are just, you're kick-ass for real. Like, I really dig you guys. You guys are all welcome at my house whenever. If you're coming to La Paz, Mexico, come visit a brother. Anyways, that's all I got this week. Much love for you guys. May the force be with you. Oh, I guess I missed a few comments here. Much love, homies. Dad brain. Yes, Cole definitely gets the dad brain. All right, brothers and sisters. See you guys later.